done. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the City of Madeira Beach Board of Commissioners Special Budget Meeting. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, and the time is 6:02 p.m. Commissioner Lister, will you please lead us in this evening's invocation?
I will, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we are excited that you are here with us tonight, and we thank you for all the blessings that you bestow on the City of Madeira Beach. We are here tonight to make budget decisions for the coming year for the citizens of Madeira Beach, and we ask that those decisions be made with your wisdom and your guidance. Always in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Palladino?
Here.
Vice Mayor Govahi?
Here.
Commissioner Lister?
Here.
Commissioner Hodges?
Here.
Commissioner Poe?
All right. Minutes, we have none. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I so move, Mr. Mayor.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any comments from staff?
No, sir.
Is there any comments from the commission? Would the city clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Lister?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Govahi?
Yes.
Commissioner Poe? Mayor Palladino?
Yes. Next, public comment. Would anybody like to make public comment this evening, Deputy? Okay, thank you. Closing. Consent agenda none. Unfinished business. Ordinance 2016-13. Mr. City Attorney, please read in full.
Yes, sir. John Schaefer sitting in for Tom Trask. We got through this last time. Let's try it again. Ordinance number 2016-13, an ordinance of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida, establishing the millage rate for fiscal year 2017, providing and announcing the name of the taxing authority, the rolled back millage rate, the percentage increase over the rolled back millage rate, and the millage rate to be levied, providing for reading in its entirety and providing for an effective date. Whereas Florida Statutes 200.065 requires the adoption of the millage rate by separate vote and prior to the adoption of the budget. And whereas Florida Statute Section 200.065 requires that prior to adoption of the millage levy ordinance, the following be publicly announced: the name of the taxing authority, the rolled back millage rate, the percentage increase over the rolled back millage rate, and the millage rate to be levied. And whereas in no event may the millage rate adopted exceed the millage rate tentatively adopted. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida. Section 1, the name of the taxing authority is the City of Madeira Beach. Section 2, the rolled back millage rate for fiscal year 2017 is 2.0531 per $1,000. Section 3, the fiscal year 2017 proposed millage rate is 7.16% higher than the rollback rate. Section 4, the millage rate to be levied for fiscal year 2017 shall be 2.2000 per $1,000. Section 5, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its adoption.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to pass ordinance 2016-13.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments from staff?
No, Mr. Mayor, just that the millage rate is frozen from last year. Things haven't gotten any cheaper, but we've figured out a way to get there, and I can explain some of that in ordinance 2016-14.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further comments from the commission? Is there any further comments? Would Madam City Clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Lister?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Poe? Mayor Palladino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Govahi?
Yes.
Next, ordinance 2016-14. Before I have the city attorney read it, Mr. City Manager, you have some.
I think the city attorney should read it first, and then we'll have some discussion.
Mr. City Attorney, would you please read ordinance 2016-14 in its entirety?
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2016-14, an ordinance of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2016, and ending September 30, 2017, providing for reading in its entirety, and providing for an effective date. Whereas Florida Statute Section 166.241 requires the adoption of a budget each fiscal year, and whereas the amount available from taxation and other sources, including balances brought forward from prior years, must equal the total appropriations for expenditures and reserves, and whereas at a minimum, the adopted budget must show for each fund as required by law and sound financial practices, budgeted revenues and expenditures by organizational unit, which are at least at the level of detail required for the annual financial report required under Section 218.32, subsection 1. And whereas the adopted budget must regulate expenditures of a municipality, and an officer of a municipal government may not expend or contract for expenditures in any fiscal year except as pursuant to the adopted budget. And whereas the City of Madera Beach tentative fiscal year 2017 budget is balanced, is presented at the level of detail required to file the annual financial report, and shall regulate expenditures of the city for the period beginning October 1, 2016, and ending September 30, 2017. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Madera Beach, Florida. Section 1. The fiscal year 2017 budget shall be governed by the following funding sources and uses. Funding sources: governmental and proprietary funds. Governmental funds: general fund. Ad valorem tax, millage rate 2.2000, $2,267,000. Charges for service, $285,700. Contributions from enterprise operations, $96,400. Culture and recreation, $269,500. Fines and forfeitures, $16,000. Franchise fees, $468,200. Intergovernmental, $1,406,800. Investment earnings, $30,500. Licenses and permits, $92,400. Miscellaneous, $168,300. Parking enforcement, $1,655,600. Shared revenue from other local units, $659,900. State grants and reimbursements, $1,728,600. Utility service taxes, $726,400. Total funding sources, $9,871,300. Local option sales tax fund investment earnings, $2,700. Local option taxes, $411,100. Total funding sources, $413,800. The Archibald Fund investment earnings, $1,000. Parking enforcement, $270,000. Rents and royalties, $72,000. Restricted fund balance, $66,700. Total funding sources, $409,700. Building fund, charges for service, $339,000. Investment earnings, $1,300. Restricted fund balance, $66,600. Total funding sources, $406,900. Gas tax fund, intergovernmental, $49,600. Local option taxes, $60,700. Total funding sources, $110,300. Debt service fund, interfund transfer debt service, $1,018,200. Interfund transfer fund balance, $263,700. Total funding sources, $1,281,900. Proprietary funds, sanitation fund, charges for service, $1,242,300. Investment earnings, $2,900. Miscellaneous, $1,800. Unrestricted fund balance, $76,900. Total funding sources, $1,323,900. Stormwater fund, charges for service, $690,000. Investment earnings, $5,600. State grants and reimbursements, $1,300,000. Unrestricted fund balance, $156,100. Total funding sources, $2,151,700. Marina fund, charges for service, $2,324,900. Investment earnings, $1,900. State grants and reimbursements, $90,000. Unrestricted fund balance, $136,100. Total funding sources, $2,552,900. Total funding sources governmental and proprietary funds, $18,522,400. Funding uses, governmental and proprietary funds, governmental funds, general fund, operating uses. City Manager's Office, $604,300. Community Development, $200,600. Finance, $452,800. City Clerk Commission, $397,900. Non-departmental, $453,700. Public Works, $296,500. Fire EMS, $1,494,900. Law Enforcement, $1,228,000. Parks, $149,100. Recreation, $843,000. Parking Enforcement, $293,100. Johns Pass Village, $146,800. Non-operating uses. Capital improvements and vehicle replacements, $539,000. Debt service fund committed balance, $263,700. FEMA flood mitigation program, $1,334,800. General fund committed balance, $263,600. Interfund transfer, debt service expenditures, $820,300. Unassigned balance, $89,200. Total funding uses, $9,871,300. Local option sales tax fund, capital outlay, $35,000. Interfund transfer, debt service expenditures, $198,000. Restricted balance, $180,800. Total funding uses, $413,800. Archibald fund, personnel, $147,500. Operations, $178,700. Capital outlay, $83,500. Total funding uses, $409,700. Building fund, personnel, $314,900. Operations, $92,000. Total funding uses, $406,900. Gas tax fund, operations, $101,000. Restricted balance, $9,300. Total funding uses, $110,300. Debt service fund, debt service, $1,018,200. Committed balance, $263,700. Total funding uses, $1,281,900. Proprietary funds, sanitation fund, personnel, $395,100. Operations, $728,800. Capital outlay, $200,000. Total funding uses, $1,323,900. Stormwater fund, personnel, $199,400. Operations, $148,600. Capital outlay, $1,135,000. Debt service, $503,700. Restricted balance, $165,000. Total funding uses, $2,151,700. Marina fund, personnel, $224,100. Operations, $2,047,400. Capital outlay, $185,000. Debt service, $96,400. Total funding uses, $2,552,900. Total funding uses, governmental and proprietary funds, $18,522,400. Section 2, total funding sources and uses include fund balance reclassifications which are appropriated for governance purposes but represent neither revenues nor expenditures. Section 3, total funding sources and uses include interfund transfers which are appropriated for governance purposes but represent neither revenues of the debt service fund nor expenditures of the general fund. Section 4, total funding sources and uses will be amended as of October 1, 2016 to include encumbrances balances legally reserved as of September 30, 2016, i.e. balances not otherwise limited per section 10.6 of the city charter. Section 5, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its adoption.
Mr. City Manager at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And after speaking with the city attorney, state statute provides that we have at least some dialogue about the budget at both hearings. And so with that, I want to just hit on some of the key points, and then if you have any specific questions, you can talk to Vince. Number one is the two things that we basically cut out of the budget was the position for one of the deputies to aggressively attack our short-term rental issues. And Deputy Coleman's in the audience tonight. I think we've got it to a certain position where we can now maintain with 2 CPOs. It was just coincidental that I wrote Chris Coleman's position out of the budget, and then Deputy Luckett got promoted, and then we requested Chris Coleman to stay as another CPO. So not only yes, we may be reducing the aggressive approach that have taken, but now we actually have the incumbent that was doing it for the last year and some months. So I think we got extremely lucky on that. I was criticized, at least when the budget was in my hands as a city manager, that we were reducing services by reducing that deputy, and that's why I have this on the dais tonight with the special events in 2016 and 2017. I think I can make a pretty strong argument that we are not reducing services in Madera Beach. If you look at the number of things that are going on, we had thousands of people crawling around the city center this weekend with an ex-Olympian softball player holding part of her camp here. You know, the after-school program is at capacity. Actually, we had to buy another bus to transport more kids to get them here in time. Our sports leagues, everything is at maximum capacity, not to mention the things that Dave still does in his department with side door sanitation and the way that we're approaching our stormwaters and our stormwater repairs and road repairs, and the amount of grants that we've gone out and received. So if that is considered a service reduction in the community, I apologize for that, but that's how we balance the budget. Secondly, we also, and we just had some conversation about at the prior meeting about the possibility of additional county funding for burying the utility. And so in my budget proposed to you, and you approved it at least at the first reading, is we're not going to borrow, at least at this time, $3 million additional to bury the utility. So those are the two key points that came out of the city manager's budget that you've adopted as your own budget. As usual, our revenues are realistic but conservative. And that's an approach Vince and I have taken since we started working here together in regards to at least the revenue lines. Some things, some expenditure lines have gone up, but if you look at the corresponding revenue line, that has gone up as well. And so that's how it was a relatively, I don't want to say simple, but methodical approach to balancing this year's budget. And so with that, I can entertain any macro type questions about the budget, and if you want to get into the specifics, Vince is here to answer any questions.
Commissioners, anybody have any question for the city manager or staff?
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
You want me to start?
Well, I was going to go ahead and then I'll entertain the motion. Or do you want to entertain the motion? Or do you want to make the motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I got to figure out what the number was here. I think it was 2016-14?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that this commission pass ordinance 2016-14 on second reading.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Yeah, absolutely. My comment was, you know, I've been on this board for, this is my eighth year. And in the beginning, we were doing a lot of cuts in the city staff, and a lot of the people were unhappy. And so we were doing more with less, and hiring the staff that we have now in place and the commission that we now have in place. We're doing more with more, and the reason that we have more is because of our enterprise funds. And I just wanted to give all of our department heads and the city managers kudos for that right there, because again, we are doing more, but we have more to do it with. So not more with less, because we're past that stage. We're with more and more, and the reason that we have more is because we have these wonderful enterprise funds and we have the money to do it. So kudos.
And Commissioner Lister, I think we had a resident here at the last reading, and I believe he has a home here in Madera Beach and one in Clearwater, and his millage is 5.5 in Clearwater and 2.2 in millage here in Madera Beach. And I think his comment was he sees no difference in the amount of services he receives for that 5.5. So staff, outstanding job. And Mr. City Manager, I took a look at this when you emailed this over today, the amount of events. Is there any way this can be put on the website so people out there can see what's going on? Okay, I know under the, if you go into Rec Center,
See, that's what I wanted to tell
Yeah.
you commissioners about is, you know, we've got, I always call it the boring website. So MadeiraBeachFL.gov, that's the government stuff, right? That's the non-fun one. But then we've got MadeiraBeachFund.com. That's the one that you want to route your folks to, your constituents to in regards to events and, you know, whether or not they need to, if they want to reserve a room for their daughter's wedding, you know, those types of fun stuff. That's where you go to that website, or just contact Miranda Borkhardt down at the rec department.
And I got more on this, but I'll bring it up under reports and correspondence. Any other comments from the commission? Any other comments from staff? Is there any further comments from the audience? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gilbahi?
Yes.
Mayor Palladino?
Yes.
Commissioner Lister?
Yes.
Commissioner Poe?
All right. Next, reports and correspondence. And I just want to go back, Mr. City Manager and Commissioners, on the special events. And like I said, it is a privilege owning a home across the street from the city center and watching what's going on. I wish Doug was here and his staff watching those. I think there had to be at least an average of 400 young ladies out there playing softballs. Those fields were going constantly from almost 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. And I'm watching staff run around, you know, fixing the fields, running the trucks, picking up garbage. And I mean, the property looked as shiny as it did the day before as the day they left. And it was amazing to see that many people coming in and out of here and experience Madeira Beach. So the residents, if you haven't seen it on any weekend, come by here almost every weeknight. You can come down here and something is going on at your city hall and sports complex. So the staff, outstanding job. To the residents allowing this to happen, thank you. And to the commission, thank you. Does the other commissioner have any reports or correspondence? Mr. City Attorney, anything from the attorney world?
No reports, Mr. Mayor.
Outstanding. Mr. City Manager.
I'll be brief. November, the second Tuesday is obviously the presidential election, so we cannot have our BOC meeting that evening. My suggestion is that we go a week later, and if we have a need for a workshop, that we double up like we have been doing a couple of times, so we don't have to go back-to-back meetings. So we would have, if there's a need for a workshop, and there probably will be, we would probably go 5 or 5:30 and then do 6 p.m. on November 15th. But my concern was, you know, the mayor's annual hunting trip, you know, those types of things. You know, if something gets in the way with one commissioner short, you know, a quorum, it becomes an issue. So does that date jive with everybody? I believe the following week already is Thanksgiving, so we don't want to get too close to that because a lot of people are traveling. And we're going to need the meeting. We can't cancel it. There's a couple of department heads that need it. Usually we kind of pretty much cancel out in the month of December, so this is kind of our roundup for the calendar year. Does that day work? 15th. Yeah. 15 is good too. All right. So 15th, Madam Clerk, if you want to make that note, and then maybe we should probably get that on the website, you know, at least in October, maybe 30 days ahead of time. It's a little early now. Just 2 more quick things. A bus stop installation is going to happen at 129th and Gulf. I know our building official, Frank DeSantis, is watching us tonight, and he's been working on this for quite some time, but I think Commissioner Lister, he always makes these requests, and the easiest of requests take like 3 or 4 years for me to get done for him, and this is no different than banners on the bridge. But we finally got to the point where PSTA and a number of other groups have all played nice in the sandbox, and we've got something going on. So this is our pet project to do like a beach umbrella type bus stop and really kind of make it more beachy and less of a mundane type bus stop out there. So we're going to see how this one looks and then go from there and add them to the budgets and subsequent budgets. So Mr. Lister, if you're going to be available on Friday, we probably want to get a picture of you out there with your 3-year-old requested bus stop. So. And then finally, all right, you'll be there? All right, good. And then obviously, again, the special events, I asked Miranda Borkhardt, Doug is out of town, to copy you guys on these so you're aware of what's going on, because I think a lot of times, you know, there's people crawling all over the fields, or, you know, the fields are on at 10 o'clock and they don't always call the city manager, they call their city commissioner. And so you'll start getting these routinely, but if you don't have it via email, you can just go to that website and reference it. But, you know, I put it in that email, and again, there's a lot of backslapping again tonight, but we took a big risk. You know, when you think about this, you know, and Vice Mayor, you weren't with us, but you were definitely part of the community, and you saw some of the drama, and there's a lot of trepidation in regards to whether or not we should build that rec center, if we should build these fields, and if we're gonna make any money off of our investment. And I think this piece of paper shows you that you probably did the right thing. And like you said, Mayor, I'm across the street the other way, but it's cool to wake up at 8 in the morning and see 1,000 kids crawling all over this field playing softball. It's really kind of a neat thing, so kudos to you guys, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Madam City Clerk.
I have nothing.
All right.
And speaking of that, though, what's the date, Amy? City clerk evaluations are due
October 6th, I believe.
October 6th to the city manager's office. I will tabulate and then get word back out to
Oh,
you.
okay. I'll return mine in.
Okay, oh, you did?
Yes.
You have it? All right. Yeah, if you get them in to me, I'll tabulate them and then get them out, and then we'll
Sorry
get them
about
out in the
that.
bag. That's okay.
All right. Anything else from the commission? Nope. Seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 6:27 PM.